Joining me now to take up the Florida recount and whether county officials there will be able to do their jobs, Eric Eggers. He is the research director at the Government Accountability Institute. He is also the author of the terrific book, Fraud, How the Left Plans to Steal the Next Election. And Eric, good to have you with us. We recommend Eric's book to you highly. Let's start with what's going on in Broward and Palm Beach counties. I love the people, the folks on the air who are sort of scratching their head as they describe this. It looks like a repeat, no matter what anyone says, a repeat of what we've seen too often from those two counties.
That's absolutely right, Lou, and it's great to be here. Unfortunately, and we discussed this back in August when the book came out, it's exactly as we'd feared. Unfortunately, Dr. Brenda Snipes has a terrible track record in Broward County of making sure that the law is upheld and that only legal votes are counted. Unfortunately, already we've seen an admission that in this election cycle, we know that illegal votes will count as part of the governor's race and the Senate race because she's blended illegal votes with legal votes. And unfortunately, that's just par for the course for her. She's got a track record of admitting to allowing illegal votes to count, whether they're illegal aliens or felons. She's destroyed ballots in contravention of judicial orders. So you're right, it's exactly back to the future for Dr. Snipes.
And Senator Marco Rubio tonight says that there is a very straightforward strategy at work in both Broward and Palm Beach counties. And that is an effort on the part of those election supervisors to delay the vote count with the assistance of judges, Democratic judges or democratically appointed judges, to help them do so in order to count votes, particularly absentee ballots that are posted after 7 p.m. Election Day.
Yeah, and absentee ballots are historically the most problematic type of voting and the most susceptible to voter fraud. In Palm Beach County, one of the things I talk about in the book is an example where you've had literally dozens of documented instances of voter fraud that was turned over to the state attorney, and there were no charges filed. So I think the larger point, Lou, is this: is if these counties in Palm Beach and Broward, which are the second and third most populous counties in Florida and heavily Democratic, if they're this bad at just following the law and counting votes, how good do you think they were at preventing illegal votes from actually being cast and making a difference in this election?
Well, and another question arises, and that is, what can the Republicans do about it? Attorney General Pam Bondi has already launched an investigation, but this seems like very much a case of too little, too late. What can actually be done to make the vote, to restore the integrity of the electoral process in Florida?
Well, that's a great question. At this point, it might be too late to restore the confidence in the integrity of elections in Florida. We have, unfortunately, too long of a track record.
We should be. I should be careful and say Broward and Palm Beach counties, because they're really the center of and the focus of what looks to be a very fraudulent effort on the part of some, at least in some part of the process or throughout the process, to disenfranchise legal votes.
Well, and that's a key point, Lou, because I think most people would agree that anything that devalues the true weight of an honest vote should be counted as voter fraud. So the 108 attempts to cast 2 ballots in Miami-Dade that fortunately were caught by attorneys during the provisional counting, luckily, those won't count. And the lawyers for Andrew Gillum and Bill Nelson that objected to the exclusion of illegal immigrants casting ballots that luckily the canvassing board found, that would also count as voter fraud. So you're absolutely right. We need as many eyes on this as possible, and that's actually one of the good things that's come from this recount debacle.
Yeah, as a result of a judge's order to make certain that the original position of the supervisor of elections was that no one would be able to watch the tally. One of the most remarkable things, of many remarkable incidents in this count and recount in Broward and Palm Beach County. Great to see you, Eric. Thanks so much. Eric Eggers, he is the author of Fraud. We recommend it to you highly.